believe we should be live. Can I just get a test? I've still got viewers 0. Got it? Can I get a mic test? Can I get a mic test from a viewer, please? We are live. Do we sound okay? Okay, I'm hearing we are live and the sound check is okay. So, welcome everybody to another Gamertech build. My name is Tal and I'm here with my, for the first time, lovely assistant, Gemma, who will be on the camera and various other assistant things. And today we are building a PC for our second customer, Gamertech's second customer, and that is a 1440p PC, gaming PC for Pete. Thank you, Pete, for your business. We really appreciate it. We're going to build you a wonderful PC, I'm sure. And I know that Pete is off to a gaming LAN for just this weekend, so I need to get this finished, tested, and I'm going to install all of his games and applications for him before he goes off on Saturday morning to spend the time playing lots of games with his friends. So I say his friends, our friends. I'll be there too. So I'm looking forward to being able to present Pete his new gaming PC, and I hope he has a great time. So let me just firstly go over some of the specifications and the components we've got here. So, sorry, one moment. Firstly, sorry about that, slight technical difficulty, new camera operator. Firstly, we have the Ryzen 7700X. And Gemma, if you could zoom in. The lens. Yeah. There we go. Wonderful. Ryzen 7700X. Thank you, lovely camera assistant. 8 cores, 16 threads. It's 5 nanometer technology. Boosts up to 5.4 gigahertz. I think the base clock is about 4.8. It's got 32 megabytes of L3 cache. It's a rated TDP of 105 watts, but I'm pretty certain that's going to go quite a lot higher than that. Probably about 150, maybe even a little bit more. We're obviously building this on the socket AM5, which is DDR5, and this particular chip has a onboard graphics as well. It's a really nice chip. Pete is going to be using the PC primarily for gaming, but he's also going to be doing some virtualization. So when we talked about the spec of his PC, we talked about using probably 6 of the cores for Windows and gaming, and then using 2 of the cores for his Linux virtual machine. Could have gone a bit higher in terms of the specs, but we had a budget that we were looking at, and the next processor up, which is the 7900X, is quite a lot more expensive, so we decided the 7700X was the one to go for. And really, you don't need more than 6 cores for gaming. That's plenty, unless you're going to be going for a really high-end graphics card like a 4090. So yes, Ryzen 7 7700X, great processor. Really looking forward to building with this. Motherboard. Got to check which box I'm picking up. Motherboard is the Gigabyte B650 Gaming X AX, and this one, really nice motherboard. It's actually, I'd say it's a mid to high range motherboard before you get into the real overclocking territory. But it's really great value, I think, this one. So we've got, read some of the things on the box back here, but we've got 2.5 gig LAN, which is fantastic, Wi-Fi 6E. We also have QFlash Plus, which is Gigabyte's version of the being able to flash your BIOS without the CPU installed. That is an absolute necessity these days, because manufacturers, vendors have they tend to release chips that aren't compatible out of the box or come later than the motherboards. So if you don't have a flash capability like Gigabyte's QFlash, you'll have to use one of the generation of processors that came out at the same time of the board, which can be a bit of a pain for a lot of people. Now, of course, if you buy a PC with Gamertech, that won't be an issue. We would always recommend that you get a board that can be flashed, BIOS flashed. But if that isn't the case and you don't choose one that can do that, we have chips on board that we can flash with the current generation. Not an issue with AM5 too much, but could be going forward. Other things, it's got 8+2+1 VRM and 6-layer PCB. Some nice extra features on this, things like it's got the easy latch, which is a nice little toolless latching function for the PCIe lane slots, but also the M.2s, and it's got a bunch of USB. I can't remember exactly how many, maybe 6 or 8, not 100% sure. I'll have to check that out, but I think it's about 6 to 8, and there's a USB-C as well. So really nice motherboard, excellent value, this one. I think this is a good sweet spot, good price to performance, does a lot for the money, doesn't have excessive features or excessive build or massive VRMs for overclocking that you won't necessarily use. This isn't necessarily the board I would pick for something like a 7950X, but this is perfect for the 7700X. What have we got next? We'll leave that one to the end. That's the exciting part. We got RAM, Kingston Fury. It's the obviously we've got it's DDR5. It's 6,000 mega transfers with a CAS latency of 40/40/40, and we've got 2 times 16 sticks, which is 32, just for those who can't use their fingers. And again, really good value, I think. Not the cheapest you can get for sure, especially at 6,000 mega transfers, which is AMD said is the kind of sweet spot for their builds, their computers. But really good value in terms of performance to cost as well. What else have we got? The power supply, thank you lovely assistant, is the Corsair RM850E, which as you can probably tell is 850 watts, fully modular, 80 plus gold, and a cybernetics A- rating as well. For those that aren't aware, most of you are probably aware of 80 plus, but you may not be aware of cybernetics. Now this is a new rating system by the company Cybernetics, and they'll give ratings of A plus. In fact, I don't actually know where the ratings start and end. It might even be S, but there's top of the ratings could be S. I think I'll have to check that out. It might be A or A plus, down to D, E, etc. But basically, the Cybernetics they test for more than just efficiency, which is really good. They test for load spikes and lots of other things as well. It's a much more comprehensive test. So if you're buying a PSU, you may want to check the Cybernetics rating. And this one, as you can see, Jem, if you wouldn't mind just zooming in on this for me, please. You can see just here, you can see both. We've got the Cybernetics A- and the 80 plus gold. That's what you're really looking for to make sure that you've got a really good power supply. Also, you could check out the PSU cultist list, which if you just Google PSU cultist, you'll be able to find a list of pretty much all of the power supplies on the market, and they will have given them a rating. Really, you can pick anything from, I would say, from C upwards, but the very best, obviously, a bit more expensive, have all of the high-end components, etc., etc. SSD, Samsung's 970 Evo Plus, which is an NVMe M.2. Samsung basically make the best SSDs. There's no question there. I think everyone would, recognise Samsung as pretty much the best. You do pay a little bit more for them, but comes with a 5-year warranty. Really, just guaranteed quality with the Samsung range, especially the 970. This is a 1 terabyte drive and has 3,500 megabytes per second read and 3,200 megabytes per second write. So pretty fast. It's a Gen 3, but we were trying to keep the value high and the cost as put as much value into this build as possible. Could have gone for Gen 4 to get some slightly better speeds, but I think really not necessary for Pete's use case for gaming, mostly. Now, if he was doing something like content creation or was using his PC for work, we may have put a faster drive and spent a bit more money here, but this is about as good as it gets for gaming purposes. Went over the RAM. The cooler. This is a really nice cooler. I like this a lot. It's the Deepcool AK620. It's an air cooler. I think in general I prefer air coolers. I personally have a custom water loop in mine, which is what I would be, for very, very high-end rigs. That's what I would be looking at building. But the all-in-ones are nice. They look great, but I think for performance and value, you can't go better than a good high-end air cooler. A dual tower cooler like this one. This one's got 6 copper heat pipes. Comes with 2 120mm fans, really nice fans. Can handle a TDP of up to 260, which is plenty for this, way more than what we need. 28 decibels for full load noise. Fans run between 500 to 1850 RPM, and it has a 69 CFM airflow. Nice. Oh, the case. Not much to see here yet, but I'll just give you a quick look. Oops, sorry about that. Oh, good. Hopefully you can see this is the Lian Li Lancool 215. I'm going to put this down now because it's a bit big. Sorry about punching the microphone a few times there. So we looked at the newer Lancool 216, but that wasn't available for about another month or so. So I know it's been released already, but you know, it takes a while for stock to arrive through various supply channels, and really the differences between the 215 and the 216, not that great. And actually, I think the dual 200mm fans on the 215 are really nice. Super good airflow with very, very low noise. But in terms of specs, all the usuals. It's really high quality case from Lian Li for the money. Like it's such good value, really, really good value. Mesh panels, honeycomb vents, supports up to 7 fans, although to do that you'd have to take off the two 200mm fans, which I wouldn't advise. I would keep those. So you can get you got your 2 on the front, you can put 2 on the top and another 2 on the bottom as well, above the PSU shroud, I believe. Also comes with a pre-installed fan hub, which I think you can add another 3 fans, one of them being RGB onto that as well, ARGB, and space for 2 SATA SSDs on the back. And then finally, the thing that makes the games happen. Pete's going to be very happy with this one. This is the 4070 Ti, only just released, and this is the MSI Ventus 3 times or 3X. I'm sure all you gamers out here will be salivating over this. The performance is fantastic. 2640 megahertz boost clock, 7680 CUDA cores, 21 gigabytes per second memory speed. New features obviously are the brand new DLSS generation 3, which does your frame, it's not interpollination, but it's frame addition. I can't remember the exact language for that. You've got 3rd gen ray tracing cores as well. And we're basically looking at 1440p at similar performance as a 3090 Ti, but compared to that 3090 Ti, it's half of the RRP, or at least when the 30 Ti launched. Although I think you can get a 3090 Ti now for I want to say about £1,000. This is still a reasonable amount cheaper. It's also really efficient compared to the 3090 Ti. The 3090 Ti was horribly inefficient. So really nice graphics card, and as I said, we're aiming for 1440p with I think about 140 to 160 frames at medium to high settings. So this should be perfect for that with this setup, and I'm really excited to build this. Is that everything? Yeah. Right, let's get started. Put some of these things aside for the moment. something in the chat? Chat is so small I can't read it, so let me just see if I can change that. Chat, text size. All right, there we go. Okay. Frank says, "You good?" All right. Thanks, Frank. You good too? Okay, let's get started. I've got a bit of an injured thumb, so I sliced it when cutting some vegetables. So if I scream like I'm in pain, I was going to say scream like a girl. I'd get in trouble with the missus if I said that. If I scream like I'm in pain, it's probably because I've jabbed it on something. It's really painful. So just to warn you. Okay, let's just see what we've got in the box here. We have some cables, some little bags of screws and things, and a manual. I don't think we'll need that. Nothing else in here, I think. Nope. So, quick look at what we've got. This is an antenna for the Wi-Fi. As I said, it's a Wi-Fi 6 board, so really nice Wi-Fi connectivity. This is an antenna. You connect it to the back of your motherboard, and you've got a cable, as you can see here. Sorry, we're zooming in right there. You've got a cable with a reasonable amount of length on, so you can put this little white pillory thing up somewhere high or closer to your Wi-Fi access point, which will hopefully give you much better Wi-Fi connectivity and speed. That's cable, great. One tiny screw, and one more tiny screw. Thanks, Gigabyte, that's real helpful. So, Jem, if you could come in nice and close. Thank you very much. Give you a nice look at the board here. There we go. Really nice looking board. I think what you'll find in a lot of the budget boards is they don't look good. You get some reasonable functionality, but they don't always look very good. And I think this one looks really good. So for the budget, the cost of it, this one is a real looker, I think. Connectivity. Sorry, Jem, just come back on there. We've got, hard to see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 USBs, one USB-C. There's your 2.5 gig Ethernet. You've got your audio, line in, line out, and microphone. Up here we've got a PS2 port. Haven't seen that in a while. And then HDMI, display port, and then we've got our BIOS, flashback USB, and the Wi-Fi 6 connectors. And also just here is the Q Flash Plus button. So when you boot, you can hold this and you'll be able to read your BIOS from this USB port here. Lost my music. Oh, how do you know? How do you know? I'm being told that we've lost our music. Let me just check. No, I can still hear the music. It's very low, so you'd need... Yeah. Okay, thank you. So, let's get this CPU in. You can just get it nice and close for a while, Jem. No need to see me in here, just get close on the board would be great. Peter's here and he can hear the music. Great. Thank you, Pete. Navigating with this injured thumb it's a bit of a pain. Okay. Right. Let's just get this CPU in. And as per usual, we have a small arrow here at the top in one of the corners, and we'll just mark that up, line that up with the same arrow in the corner on the motherboard. Easy as that. Put this across, and out this comes. One installed CPU. Okay. Next we will want the cooler. Painful thumb. Very painful. Just jabbed it on the box. It's just bleeding a little bit now. No, it's fine. Sorry about this, viewers. So, I'm just going to get this cooler onto the motherboard. We should have some mounting bracketry here. Slight audio lag. Okay. Have a quick look at this slight audio lag. Sorry about that. Everything looks fine, got no dropped frames, and the connection is good. Don't know how to fix that right now, so apologies to our two viewers, Frank and Pete. I hope it's watchable. I'll fix it in the edit. Okay. Tissue. Just getting a tissue for my injured finger. Thank you very much. Sorry about that. So the Deepcool AK620, really nice cooler. Really like this one. I've seen this in a friend's build before, and I was really impressed by the performance. So I wanted to take a look at this at some point, and I'm glad that Pete wanted to go for this high-end cooler. It's really nice. So let's get this onto our CPU. We should have mounting bracketry in here for both Intel and AMD. So I'll just have to sort between those two. I believe that's the AMD. Don't think I need. Yes, I do. I need these, and not this. So I should just need. So the thing with AM5 is that the mounting, the rear mounting bracket is pre-installed, and usually I think on all of the boards is fixed. So you need to be careful when buying a cooler for your AM5 platform, that you buy one that the cooler can use the integrated rear mount. So let me just take off the front mount brackets, and we're going to be replacing these with the supplied brackets that we have from Deepcool. Just get rid of these, we don't need those. This is my don't need pile. Sorry, I might have to stop every few moments or so to to plug the bleeding on my injured finger. Oh dear. Right. Oh. So we get the supplied screws in here. These only have to be finger tight. right in here. Tighten them up a little bit. Getting a bit warm. We're off, are we? Okay. Just right. So those are the 4 base screws. Ouch. And then we attach should say AMD on. Should be those small, these can't be these ones, so that must be for the Intel. I'm just going to check that before I go ahead. No, that's in fact not the case. What's going on here? I've got some incorrect brackets. This is strange. I will consult the manual. Bear with. AMD. Yeah, the C and D. Cross widthways, like so, facing outwards. With AM4 and AM5, which one's which? It should only fit one way. In D, yep. But then facing inwards, right? Of course. Got some medical advice. Thanks, guys. Staple gun, solder through. Yep, that's a good one. Weld it back together from Pete. Thank you. Cauterize it with a PSU. Think I might not do that one, Frank. Or just use a plaster. Yes, could use a plaster. Although earlier I used some super glue because it was hanging off pretty badly. Yeah, that, as Frank says, that thumb tip is hanging on by a thread. Yeah, it sure is. It's not the most ideal circumstances for building a PC with lots of screwing things in, etc. But we shall solder on. So, just getting the mounting bracketry finished up here. There's very subtle differences for every put one of these the wrong way around. There's very subtle differences for each manufacturer. So for instance, the last one that I used, the brackets went lengthways and faced outwards. These ones look to be or are the widthways and face inwards. So even if you didn't have a manual, it would be fairly simple to get this done, but it's always best just to have a little look and make sure you do it right first time so you don't waste too much time. Perfect. We are good. So, one moment, I'll just get rid of the rest of this. Have a cable for the RGB there. Who cuts vegetables with a katana these days, says Frank. Yeah, I think the knife I used was about as sharp as a katana, so I'm lucky really. I only just sliced the very end. Could have been worse. Thermal paste ready to go on here, and I'm just going to prepare the cooler a bit now. So we've got some cardboard here we want to take out. Just want to remove, don't forget this guys, probably the most important peel on your whole PC, this one right here. Don't forget this one, otherwise you'll have a very warm computer and you don't want that. I'm just going to remove some of these cables. I'll obviously tidy these later. These are, I think we've got ARGB, yeah, we've got ARGB in the, no, I don't think we have any RGB at all actually here. Let me just double check. No, stealth, better in my opinion. Okay, so let's get some paste onto this CPU. Thanks, Jim. Just going to go for the 5-dot technique. So one slightly larger dot in the middle and a dot in each corner. Only need to be small. Don't need to use tons and tons of paste. Just a small blob in each corner and then one in the middle. Should do nicely. Right, so I'm just going to put the RAM in so that I make sure that we I have checked the clearances on this, so we should be fine, but I just want to make sure it's going in the right, the cooler's going in the right way. Careful. It's like I'm back in the Stone Ages with only one opposable thumb. So 2x16 sticks and real fast 6,000 mega transfers RAM. Really happy with this. Good price point, really good value. And as per usual, we use the the slot that is furthest away from the motherboard first, from the CPU first. And then the second slot away from the CPU, so that they're running in dual channel. Just give it a nice firm push until you hear 2 clicks, one at either side, and they are in nicely. Okay. So that's good. Just checking the so usually with the fan direction the 5-dot exploding heart technique. Yeah, brilliant. Yeah. Thanks, Frank. So usually in terms of the direction of the airflow on your fan, the fan logo is the direction of the intake. So here the air will be going this direction. It will be intaking from here and blowing out from here. So what we're looking at doing is putting this is the, you can always tell here, this is the IO shield on the back, so this will be the rear. So we're looking at this being the direction that the air is going, like this. So this will go in place like so. Gonna have to remove one of the fans in order to install this. So let's just do that quickly. Okay, peel off. Just looking to get a little bit of pressure on either side, just so that we are catching on the screw. There we go. Now we just apply some nice light pressure, a few screws in each side. So we get a nice even mounting or mounting pressure. And there should be an end point. There we go. And that one. And there should be an end point here as well. So just hand tighten this. Don't massively torque it. That will do just fine. Nice and solid. So we'll just get this fan back in place and make sure we get it the right way round. So we're looking for one here, and then we want to do like so. And just click it back into place. Easy as that. Right. That's the hard part over. Got the RAM in. We've got the motherboard ready to go. So I think now... oh, let's just get the SSD in while we've got some room here. And... just going to do this so you guys can see. Oh, yeah, smaller thingy. You know what I mean. Okay, let's grab the SSD. Got a number of SSD M.2 slots here. Oh god, opposable thumbs, come on. We'll be putting this in the one that's connected to the CPU, which will give us the fastest speeds. Oh, actually, so I said earlier this has the easy lock for some of the M.2s. It looks like it doesn't have it on this one because this one's underneath this nice little heat spreader here. So we'll just have to use one of these tiny screws. And then the second most important peel on your computer is probably this one. So again, just make sure you take this off. We've got a heat spreader and a thermal pad here. That will keep the M.2 drive nice and cool. Okay, right, I think that's everything we need to do with the motherboard for a little while. So I'll put this aside and I think let's get having a look at the case. Right, I just need to do a little bit of clearing up. I say oh, I haven't touched it. Screensaver. I say clearing up, I really mean just moving from one place to another. That's the mail cleaning up. Not the correct way, but enough for right now. Right, case. Well, I've got this nice little, some people call them a lazy Susan. I mean, that's both sexist and mean. She doesn't look very lazy, she's moving all over the place. So I don't know what these are called. Let's call it a rotating computer pedestal thing. What do you think? I mean, I made that up. Yeah? Great. Okay, let's just get this case out. Can I just get a helping hand? Gemma, if you could just... Don't worry, you don't need to come on camera. But if you could just stand there and hold that flap down, please, while we turn this over. Thank you. And then we should just be able to... Can we? Yep, can we? Oh yes, just throw that yonder. Thank you. Save this just in case. Shouldn't need to look at it, but every case is different. I mean, they mostly do the same, right? But there are some subtle differences. Are you getting that heat back on? Yeah. My fingers aren't quite shaking just yet, but it is rather cold tonight. So for those that aren't watching live, which is all 7,999,998,000 of you, it's the evening in the UK at about 10 o'clock. And for those others that are watching, the two of you, you already know that. Right, so let's have a little look over this case first, shall we? So, got some nice mesh up top. Now, firstly, let's just take off the side case, side window. Oh, we have what are they called? Trapped screws. I can't remember the name for them. Trapped in place screws. There is a technical name. I can't remember what it is. That is an excellent feature on a case. I really like to see that. It means you don't lose your screws, and they're easy to get in and put back on again. To take off and put back on again. Nice large viewing glass panel. We've got some cable ties, lots of screws, spare screws, spare motherboard. Are they spare or are they in? No, they are all spare. There's spare motherboard standoffs, and we've got short fan screws and long fan screws. So the long ones are for if you were using a radiator for a water cooling setup. We're not in this case, so just the short ones. Han definitely shot first. Oh, there's three of us. Oh, and thank you, Frank. Yeah, captive screws. Captive. That's what I was looking for. Held in place screws. Your screws can only get so loose. Yes. Pete has to go soon. Sorry, Pete. It's difficult to judge building a PC and attempting, albeit poorly, to be entertaining as well, and still build a PC in a timely fashion. I would like to say that if not on camera, I would build this in probably 45 minutes, but yeah, got to do things a bit slower when you're doing this on stream. So what have we got here? We've got a strange... Oh yeah, okay, we've got a cable tie just holding that plastic case in place. Ow! Don't worry, it wasn't the knife, it's just my pre-existing condition. So, as you can see at the front here, guys, we have two very large 200mm fans. Really nice for airflow. Because they're bigger, they can rotate slower and move the same amount of air as a bigger fan. So you get good cooling, but also near silent running, which is really nice. Just in general, it's really what you want in your PC, right? Just take this back plate off. Okay. So, what have we got on the back here? We have, yeah, nicely-ish cable tied, and our fan controller here, which I think we've got. So I'll make sense of this in a minute, but yeah, we have this button up here, which is quite cool. So here's our input output. We've got a couple of USB-As, microphone, we've got the power button, and then we've got this little LED button, and that controls your lights for the two front fans, changing their colours. I think it said it was 8 or so different profiles that's built in. Not 100% sure. You could just connect your fans and your ARGB to the motherboard and control it from software, but as a lot of you probably know, a lot of the RGB software from various manufacturers can be problematic, let's say. So if it looks good like this, I'm going to set it up the way Leanne Lee wanted us to. If it looks good like this, I think I'll just keep it like that. If it looks bad, which I don't think it will, I'll show Pete, we'll have a little look, and I'll probably change it around. But since we were going to spend in the weekend together, I could just do it there, and it'll be nice and easy anyway. So yeah, we've got some space for 3 more fans for PWM control, and 1 more ARGB. So we've got 3 ARGB here, but I don't believe that this rear fan is RGB. Let's have a little look here. No, so rear fan isn't RGB. We've got spare. Right. I'll figure this out in a moment. But yeah, going back to the case, I think it's a really nice, simple case. Now, it's not an expensive case at all. I think it retails for something like £60 or £70. So for what you get, I mean, it's a reasonable size. It will fit, I think, pretty much most graphics cards. Might not fit a 4090 since they are behemoths, but probably I would say if you're buying a 4090, you're probably not going to buy a £60 case. Pete wanted something fairly compact. He wanted something with good airflow, and he wanted to put his money towards, because we had a fixed budget, he wanted to put the money towards the components for performance rather than spending a lot of money on a case. Personally, I am cases are my jam. I just love awesome cases. I'm really looking forward to building in some of the modern cases. There's one with wooden slats at the front, a bit more expensive. We did look at that, but so another £100 on top of that we would have had to taken out the budget probably for the graphics card. So we didn't want to do that, and we wanted to get a really nice graphics card, which we have in the 4070 Ti. So yeah, this still has really nice airflow though, with these 2 big fans on the front and the rear exhaust fan as well. So let's get the motherboard in. Just checking we don't have a plate there that we need to take into account. We do not. Just checking up all those motherboard screws that line up. So things are. You do what those are, Jem? They are. Oh, not just a pretty face, eh? Little dividers for this nifty little toolkit here. Very nice. Yeah. Won't bother all those for the moment, but let's just get our motherboard secure. Maybe you can come right in for this, Jem. I don't know if you want to detach and... Do you remember how to detach? Yeah. So just FYI, there's a little... that circular thing here, you can turn that and it detaches. But we'll figure that out for next time. This is Jim's first time being glamorous camera assistant, so I would imagine that her and my on-camera skills become better as we go. This is just our second build, second ever customer for Gamertech. So, thank you, Pete. Just going to check. Probably should have checked this first, but I'm just going to check that all of the standoffs line up with where our motherboard screws want to go. It's not always the case. I mean, they should be, but it's not always the case. A slightly taller one in the middle. Looks like it's just been, I don't know, machined just very slightly incorrectly. I need a tool that I wasn't expecting to need. Jen, would you mind? Oh, hang on. I have it right here. So I'm just going to take a little look at this. I'm just a bit concerned about this standoff. It's like it's just been done up too tight. There we go. Thank goodness. Let's have a little look at this. Screen's gone off again. Yeah, real slight difference here. It looks like this standoff. Oh, you probably won't be able to see this, but the difference in the standoff there. So this one has got a centre part that's very slightly raised compared to this one, which isn't, and it's just a little bit higher in terms of its height. Damn it. So I'm just going to get this back on. This is precisely why they give you spare screws, spare standoffs, etc. Because, you know, even though all of these components are really well machined, there will be, you know, mistakes somewhere every now and then. You know, every, I don't know, 10th, even maybe every 100th or 1000th. But you can't discount it, which is why. Which is why the manufacturers put those spares in there, just in case. It's very good practice. Thanks, Leanne Lee. I'll just try this middle one first now. Hey! Now we're cooking with gas. Some of the newer motherboards have connectors on the rear, and cases have, you know, allowances for motherboards with connectors on the rear, so that you can make a truly cableless PC aesthetic. I am really looking forward to building one of those. Those are very, very nice. Very cool. Drop the screw. Often happens. Thankfully, it just went straight in the hole. That's what she said. I'm sorry. I tried to resist. I can't resist. I'm sorry to our two viewers. But anyway, I know who the two viewers are, and I'm pretty sure they appreciate a "that's what she says" joke. Oh no, dropped another one. Ah. Right, Pete, thank you so much. Pete's going to bed now. He's a family man, so he's got his kids to bed, and he's probably tired after a week life of raising kids. So good night, Pete. Your PC will be done in very shortly, and then tomorrow I will do all the software stuff. Testing, benchmarking, and getting all of the games ready for your LAN. Just so you know, I wouldn't usually do that. You know, we are a professional operation here at Gamertech. Wouldn't usually install games as part of the service. It's just that, you know, obviously with things like Steam and Origin, and the fact that a lot of the games these days are on one of these launcher services, you have to sign in with your username and password, which I won't have for all of our customers. Pete is a customer, but he's also a friend, so I'm doing that as a favour. And because where we're having the LAN, Frank LAN 2023, he's just got the worst internet, and we'll be there all day downloading games. So this is pretty much a necessity. So yeah, not usually something that we would be able to do for you because of the username and sign in, etc. Just make sure I've got all these done. Nope, missed one. There we go. It's always best to check. Okay, that is our motherboard in, and this is a very strange motherboard standoff. It's too high, just like Towley. Jen won't get that, but Frank definitely will. Right. What we've got left to do now is the power supply and then the cabling, and we are done. Ooh. Let's use the PC computer swiveling cylindrical turning device. That's all right, isn't it? Look at that. We've got some upgrades. I love it. All right. Very nice. You're the worst character ever, Tarly. Brilliant. Thanks, Frank. Right. So, just going to get this PSU in place and get the cables routed. We don't have any more hard drives or SATA SSDs that we would usually put in one or both of these places here. So this is going to be fairly simple. Damn, if you could so we've got all of our power cables, another different type of power cable, some cable ties, thank you very much, and our power supply. Now, this power supply, just like the last one that we did for our first Gamertech customer, is oversized, and I don't mean physically. I mean oversized in terms of the power. So we should need about 700, maybe 750 watts for this build, bearing in mind the components. But we've gone for 850 watts, and the reason for that is I just like to have redundancy. So power supplies last a very long time. This one's warranted for 7 years, I think. So you really want to just put this in and forget about it for a long time. So the idea being, by oversizing, is that if Pete wanted, he could change out his 4070 Ti for, I don't know, maybe in a generation or two, if it's 6080 Ti, assuming they're not powered by the sun or, I don't know, fusion power by the time that the 6000 generation comes around. Power management's getting a bit out of hand, especially when it comes to the GPUs. So, well, we can see. I'm hoping that. Sorry, let me just make a lot of noise. I'm hoping that some of the future developments in technology in GPUs and CPUs will include a lot of efficiency, because we're getting to the point now where 1000 watt power supplies they're going to be the norm. You know, this is the bare minimum that I would put into a gaming PC like this, and this is you know, mine's got a 1000 watt. That's only because I've actually got. I did have a 3090, but I upgraded it. You could maybe say upgraded it. I changed it to a Intel Arc, so I've got the A770. So that's interesting. I'm looking forward to using that a bit more and finding out all of the quirks. But yeah, sorry, the power, I'm hoping that we get to see a lot of efficiency improvements soon, because some of the power requirements are getting fairly out of hand. So, I'm just going to have a little look at what we've got in here. We've got, this is our motherboard connectors for power, power reset, LED, etc., etc. So let me see where these will go through to the bottom. So yeah, that's plenty of room there. We've got a SATA power connector here, which we do not need, and I think oh, we've got a USB here. So you know what, I'm just going to take this out and just see what we have. So USB for the front panel. Now, every case is different in terms of cable management. You'll have the same roughly in terms of actual cables. So what we have here is the switches. We've got the HD audio and then USB 3.0. Those are all very standard. And then we just need to have a look at the other cables that we've got. These are all, they're all plugged in though. So I think we're pretty much ready to rock on those. So let's get this power supply in. We've got some space for air intake on the bottom. So we're going to go power supply fan down. Maybe we're not. Try that again. Yes, yes, we are. We're fine. PSU. There we go. Just make sure all the holes line up. Sorry, just moving the mouse. Okay, so there's our PSU in place. So I'll just get these cables to go around the front here, so that they're through to the right places. We're not going to do anything with this SATA cable, we don't need that, so that'll just be handily hanging there. We're just going to put these through, which is what we take to the motherboard. Just going to check where they need to go. Bottom, bottom, all on the bottom. So we just bring that through. So what you want to do is bring your cables through so that you're showing the least amount of cable possible, basically. Cables are pretty ugly. You don't want to show loads of cable. So we want to try and put these through either the holes that we've got here. Can you see there? We've got a few of those. We've got here and here, and then we've got these rubber grommets up here. Yeah, we've got that one there, got one up here, and then we should have two on the side just there. You should be able to see my little pink finger poking through. So that's where we try and route our cables so that they're nice and not too visible. USB 3 in a different place. Oh, I see. USB is just on the side here rather than the bottom. So I've come through here. And you can see I'm just plugging in there, so we've got very little cable coming through. Looks nice and neat. And this is what you want to do for all of the cables. But I'm gonna just go through and get these all in place now. So if you're watching the live stream, go and get a cup of tea or something, you know. But those watching on YouTube, hopefully we'll have some cool, funky montage with some wicked music. Okay. Frank says the RCPT is hella useful. Can't actually remember what RCPT stands for. The rotating computer pedestal turner thing. The rotating computer pedestal thing. Yes, that's it. Thanks, Frank. Some serious thumb issues here. As in, very little usability. So these are all just labelled power switch, reset switch, etc. Okay. That's the front I/O in place. Don't think there's anything else that needs to go in. What have we got? We've got control for the fan connector and the controller hub, and that looks to be about it. Cool. All right. Now just gonna get the motherboard 24 pin. Just realizing I probably want to bring that PSU out so I've got a bit better access to it. Yes, I do. So, depending on the case, you may want to put it in first, or you may want to get the cables all put in, then just slot it into place. It really depends on the case. It's the first time I'm building in this particular one. I've built in quite a few Lian Lees in my past. I've always been a real big Lian Lee fan. I personally have the V3000, which is the big old thing. I'll show you. Jim, if you could point over there. Maybe if you could just come this way a bit and then point that way. Oh, ignore that half-eaten pack of hobnobs, Jem. I know I'm supposed to be eating well, but that's my computer. It's a custom loop, custom water loop with a AMD 7950X Intel Arc A770. It's the motherboard. It's the Gigabyte. Apparently, I'm a fan of Gigabyte. It's a Gigabyte Aorus Master B650E which is real nice. Oh, when I said no, it's fine. When I said go off and make a cup of tea now, apparently everyone's gone, including my camera lady. That's fine. I'll manage. So just getting the motherboard to make sure these are all clicked in place, and I'm struggling with that at the moment because of my thumb, but there we go. So we will then need the CPU connectors, and we'll just see how many we'll need. We'll need an 8-pin and a 4-pin. Okay. Here's our PCI Express. Now, I should be able to break these in half. Yes, you can. Good. Thank goodness. So we've got our CPU power here. This will go into the motherboard to power the CPU. And we need an 8 and a 4. So we've got an 8 here, and then we'll break this one. This is another 8, but we'll break this one in half to have 2 4s. Now, I would have preferred if we had a separate 4 rather than an 8 that breaks into 2. Just makes it a little easier to cable manage, but what we can do is just bring these cables back a bit so that we can fold this one out of the way behind and then bring this one in like so. Probably won't be able to get this gem, it's going to be a bit tight in here. It's tight even to see in here, to be honest. Right, I'm just going to check. Oh, if only I had that on camera. Gem's just walked back in with many hobnobs in her mouth. Just in her mouth. Okay, so that one's done and it's nicely cable managed. There we go, that's what I needed. You have to make sure that these are firmly and securely in place. Give them a bit of a tug once you put them in. Having one of these come out on during shipping would be a real bad experience for your customer. So make sure, I'm getting a bit hot now. Make sure that they're in nice and firm. So now I'm just going to put the Motherboard power in, 24 pin. Again, just make sure that this is firmly in place. Oh. I'm moving the grill so that it doesn't come out during shipping. And get these through to cable manage. Again, we want the smallest amount of cable showing at the front. The PC may be a very functional thing, but we still want it to look nice. Oh, it's almost 11 o'clock. We then want to run our PCI cables, PCI Express cables for the graphics card. So we've got 2 of these. Now, we're just going to open up the graphics card at this point and just check. We should have a 12-pin adapter in here, and I think that will mean that we need 2 PCI Express connectors. Jamie, if you want to come in and have a little look at this. Here is the gaming brain of our computer, Pete's computer, and yes, we have one 12-pin connector just here, so we should have an adapter which will go into 2 of our 8 pins. 12-pin this end and 2 8-pins here. Perfect. Right. Typically they should be labelled up, but the end that says PCIe is the end that goes into the graphics card, and the other end just plugs into here. Like so. So we'll send these through. I'm just gonna offer up the GPU here. That's nice. It's got a full metal backplate, 3 fans, and they're the twin Frozer fans, I believe. Yeah, nice card. And it's a 2.5 slot. Frank says, great timing on the Final Fantasy on the Final Fantasy VII fanfare. I don't know, was I maybe pulling out the graphics card at that point, Frank? If it was, that wasn't staged, but I love it. Oh, yeah. Eek. One more. Yeah. 2.5, which means we need really 3 slots. So they should just call it 3 slot. Okay, so we're just going to see where to bring the cables through, and so if you can see here, we're a bit too long on the card probably to bring them through here, and if we did, they'd come like that. I think that would be okay though. What we're looking for here is this cable here. This needs to be, what's the best way to say it? This needs to be situated so that it's not bent a lot. It needs to be, you know, we can bend it at this end, like in the middle, like so, but this needs to be here. We just need to make sure that it's aligned correctly and sat so it's not going to get massively bent. Also, you need to make sure that this is plugged in correctly. A lot of you would have seen the videos. I think Gamers Nexus did the first one where there were some cases of graphics cards catching on fire. So you need to make sure that those are inputted and seated and connected correctly. Now that it's gone through, it doesn't want to come back. Oh my God. How is it possible that this went through so easily, but is now not coming back? Oh God, there we go. Right. Right, we're only doing that once. More. Right, there we go. Right. Nice. And straight. Out. line this up properly. There we go. Okay, and that is pretty nicely cable managed there. Very happy with that. At least at the front. Excuse me. Now we'll just, so we've got everything at the front here. We'll just need to pass through our, we're going to plug this straight into the system fans actually. There's the two CPU fans. Should I bring it up to the CPU optional fan? Yeah. Well. Made a grave error here. I need to. Oh no. Right. Borrow some slender fingers. See this? See this cable here?
Mm-hmm.
Can you see that cable tie?
Yeah.
Just undo the cable tie. Oh, you know what? Hang on. We don't need this in. I can take this out. This was just in there so I could get it looking right. You don't need that right now. Take this out. Sorry about that. Okay, there we go. Cable's in. Don't think we need to do anything else there. Those cables. Everything else needs to happen in the back now, so we're almost done. Your and my belly will be happy to know. Just securing the graphics card in there. We don't really need it just yet, but now is just sort out the cabling at the back and we're basically done. So all we're going to do today is just build until post. Everything software related will be tomorrow. And I will do another stream tomorrow during the day where I will do the Windows install. Actually not exactly sure how I'm going to do that. Maybe I'll just put the camera on it. I won't be able to. Anyway, I'll figure it out tomorrow. Windows install, benchmarking, stress test and software install, and the software install will be just for Pete. Okay, here's our power cables, here's our CPU cables. One of those is, there we go. See what you've got in terms of, so this should be, all the fans should be in place. I think we've just got a spare, yeah, we've got a spare ARGB cable here, and we've got a spare ARGB slot just there. So actually everything should be done. I think we're ready to plug this power supply in and go. I'll do the proper cable tidying tomorrow as well. I think it's getting a bit late now, and me and Jem are very hungry. As it is. What time is it now, Jem? 5 to 11. I really take my time building computers when on live TV, live internet. Okay. So, just making sure that these are all plugged in correctly. So these are the two for the graphics card now. This one and this one, and they're marked up on the PSU as PCIe CPU, so you can interchange them. Oh, actually, I'll do these ones are longer, so I'll put the CPU ones in the bottom. Sorry, the GPU ones in the bottom. The CPU ones go on the top, and yeah, they're interchangeable on this power supply. I think my power supply has separate for separately labelled, but it really doesn't make any difference. They're both on the same. Plugged one of these, yeah. Daft idiot. Plugged one of these the wrong way around. Easy to do, but I ignored my own advice earlier, which was that the cables are marked up saying the one with PCIe will go to the graphics card on the graphics card ends, and the ones that say CPU will go to the CPU slot on the connector on the motherboard, and this is the CPU end, the motherboard end. Hundreds of PCs, and even anyone that's built thousands of PCs will still make a simple mistake like that. The important part is that you check, so that you don't plug it in incorrectly. It's not very easy to plug these in incorrectly anymore because they're all got connectors and snap-on clasps that make it very easy. Okay. Again, quite difficult without two thumbs. Jem, could I? Sorry, just because I've only got one thumb I can use. Could you just this screw, one of these, into that slot. Is it lined up? That should be fine. Thank you very much. No, it's all good. Perfect. Thank you, Jem. That was your on-camera debut. Woohoo. How did it feel?
I think it's just going to be my bum, isn't it?
Apologies to Frank and Martin for Gemma's bum. We'll edit that bit out, okay? Okay, so we're ready to go. We got power here. Oh, that's not ideal. All right. Let's see if we post. Wow, graphics cards don't come with a cable anymore. And I am maybe using all mine. Okay, you know what? You're not that tall, apparently. It was your back. Lovely assistant, would you mind? We got space down there? Excellent. That's right, you can put it down on the floor. So it will reach. Right, so what I would need, just one moment please, audience. What I need is, do you see, right, I'm going to try and point. Right, do you see the three kind of cables? See the fan that's lit up? Yeah, those those big cables, yeah. The one on the very left, does that say HDMI on it?
HDTV.
Yes. Pull that out, please. That's it. Right. I don't have a view of the stream right now, but I think we'll be okay. Okay. So it's just going to take a little while for the RAM to be trained. So when you first start an AMD system, it takes a few moments, a few reboots to train the RAM. All right. We have post. Success. Right, so that's going to be the end of the stream for today. That's going to be the end of the stream today. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it to our vast audience. A few things just to leave you with. Probably should have said quite a lot of this at the start as well, but we are Gamertech, a new custom PC provider. You can find us at gamertech.org, and all of our socials are gamertech.org but written out, so Gamertech and then DOTORG. I think all of our socials are that. Gamertech, DOTORG, all one word, gamertech.org. And our website is not up yet, but we will launch soon. And when we do, we are aiming to have the very best PC configurator on the market. We're looking to give you maximum choice, maximum customization ability, maximum vocabulary, obviously, and we will build you pretty much any PC. We have a vast array of suppliers. We'll be supplying pretty much all vendors, all manufacturers, and we're going to give you lots and lots of choice in terms of things like cases and customization with fans and anything you want. So we'll be launching in probably maybe about a month, give or take. So please stop by when we're live. Please tell your friends about Gamertech. Our what's the word? Our mission statement, and our mission is to provide affordable computers. Gamertech is all about affordable computers for gaming, for content creation, for your work, a workstation, whatever you want. Perhaps even NAS boxes, media centers as well. So we're looking to be the most affordable and the best value provider on the market, and hopefully that's what we'll be. So thank you again. I've been your host and PC builder Tal. Behind the camera is Jem, who looks after the most important things in the company, the camera and the books. So thank you to my lovely assistant Gemma. Sorry it's so late, and we are about to have dinner probably 11:30. We'll try and time manage a bit better for next time. Thank you again to anyone that tuned in, and anyone that watches our YouTube video. Please remember to like, subscribe, press all of those buttons. I don't know which ones there are these days, but there's lots of buttons. Please press them all, and we will see you again soon for our next customer build. Thank you. Right, I just needed to plug that cable back into where it came from. It goes a particular way. You can see that. remain live through that? Yes, but everything's over here now.